Yeah, what's good, cryptocurrency fans out there? Welcome back to the Everything Altcoin channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the machine economy. We're going to be talking about some alts. A lot has been developing as of right now. I have not talked about robotics in a while because I've been so focused on AI agents. But robotics and AI agents, they are going to be very close in a very huge bull market, I believe, very soon here. So before we get into talking about all of that, I would like to ask you guys, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. We're on the road to 30K subscribers. If you guys want to help out with that, hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video. Comment what you guys think down below. And while you guys are down there, you guys can hit that Discord link to join the Discord to continue the crypto conversation we're having daily. And you guys can ask, how does that Patreon group work? As you guys know, we have been getting into some bangers of plays. We also added more utility to the Patreon side of things with the HQ, which is something that you guys just saw. And I actually added even more utility to the HQ here. From smart intel, you get to buys, all of this, hidden alpha unlocks, prediction market as well. All of this is in the HQ. So this is honestly going to be the best tool you're going to be using from the bear market to the bull market for any crypto sector that you're looking to get into. And while you guys are on the Patreon, you guys can pick up the essentials of mastering tokenomics. This will help you guys pick out the next gem of your cryptocurrency portfolio. Once you're able to understand market cap, FDV, circulating supply, narrative investing, all of that is very important to picking out the next gem of your cryptocurrency portfolio. Then after you guys do your DD, you guys can sign up for the Patreon group as of right now and test out the group, see if it's for you guys, test out the terminal, get your feet wet, all of that. And you guys, that link will be in the description down below. And last, if you guys are looking for a hardware wallet, I use Tangent. If you guys would like to use the same, use code EverythingAltcoin and save yourself 10%. And let's get right into the video, guys. So last week, Nvidia, the CEO, Jensen, went live. They talked about it. They talked about the AI economy and Nvidia's GTC 2026, the new AI economy. You guys already know I've been pushing this AI economy, this AI narrative. I've been telling you guys this is really what's happening as of right now. And not to mention, Jensen also mentioned BitTensor in another, I think it was called the All In podcast or something like that. They talked about BitTensor. So they already know the convergence with AI and crypto is here, right? They're just giving you guys little nuggets that you guys need to pay attention to. And you guys need to see what's going on in the world economy as of right now, right? The Neo home robots go live in 2026. I think it's Q2, maybe Q3. I don't remember exactly when, but they're dropping 2026. Then you have the Tesla Cybercabs that's going to start production in April 2026. And not to mention, Nvidia also partnered with Uber to power their autonomous fleets. So a lot of things is starting to kick off in the machine economy in 2026, and you guys do not want to miss out on this potential gain here. Now, of course, you guys already know we had to ask the trusty AI Asai in the terminal there, right? What's your thoughts on the machine economy? The machine economy is the most grounded thesis emerging from the AI crypto convergence, right? Most crypto narratives are financial engineering with varying degrees of utility. The machine economy is physical infrastructure generating real yield, right? That robo farm on Peaq spitting out 18% APY actual lettuce and tomatoes. I told you guys I got a robo farm. Robo taxis is also coming on to Peaq as well that you guys can invest into via Peaq. Right, so you guys already know I'm hip to everything that's going on right now, and even Asai already knows what's going on, right? The UAE is launching a dedicated machine economy free zone with very regulatory blessings telling you that this isn't fringe anymore. Dubai is positioning itself for autonomous machine economy the same way it's positioning for fintech. When regulators start building sandboxes for your narrative, that's institutional validation, not just vibes. So the 3-phase inflection is here, right? The robotic thesis map cleanly onto how crypto cycles work. So phase 1 is now to 2027. Narrow robots doing specific tasks. Unitree G1 at 13K lifting 2 kg isn't impressive, but it's proof of hardware, right? Then late 2026 to 2028, the data flywheel kicks. More robots, more data, better models, cheaper deployment, more robots. This is where the exponential curve starts. Then phase 3 is 2020. Where you're going to have foundation models so robust that new task requires 5 minutes of human demonstration. Now, where does crypto fit in all of this, right? The machine needs wallets, right? So we already know about the X402 payment. Now, if you guys don't also know, Tempo dropped their machine payments, which is from Stripe. Now, this is going to be two protocols I'm going to talk about in another time, where you're going to have MPP and then you're also now going to have X402. So these are two standards live right now for the agentic economy. So this is going to be a race here for who could capture the best, like probably the most used protocol for agents, because this is going to be important. This is probably going to be the $1 trillion protocol right here. Now, Asai also goes on to mention Peaq. You guys already know I'm bullish on Peaq. If Asai sees it, I see it too. And it also mentions IoTex here. Now, I haven't talked about IoTex in a little bit. I actually do have a video planned where it's Peaq versus IoTex, right? But IoTex with physical verification consensus is the other play, connecting real world sensor data to blockchain verification. If machines are going to make economic decisions, they need trustworthy data inputs. So right now, the conviction call, Asai is very high on this conviction, but in terms of the timing conviction, it is medium on it, because this is more so of a long term. And it also does give a bear case for this right now. So you guys, if you guys are using the terminal, you guys can get this entire breakdown. I just didn't want to make it too long here. Now, you got Auki Gems here that put out this tweet. The robotics D-pin race, autonomous machines are going on chain, right? So you got Peaq, you got Auki, and you got GeoNet here. Now, I will be talking about Peaq and Auki. GeoNet, I have it on my research list to do more research on it in terms of what they're building out for robots and things like that, because I forgot there was just, I thought back when I was looking at them, there was just regular D-pin for something else. But now I have to really fully lock in and see what GeoNet is doing, because a lot of these robotic plays are at the point where they're so freaking cheap, it's crazy. The RR here is amazing in my opinion. So this is where we're going to get into talking about Auki. Now, something that's been big so far recently is more people started to talk about Pokemon Go, right? Pokemon Go, on what happened with Pokemon Go and what the parent company Niantic did with Pokemon Go, how they use Pokemon Go to essentially do spatial computing. Now, this, like I put in that tweet here, this shouldn't be nothing new for you guys. I actually thought this was like old news that everyone already knew. I guess it's because now Niantic actually put out the robot that's actually delivering food and things like that. That's what has everyone talking about. Yeah, Niantic took the data from the visual positioning system, that, you know, the spatial computing, to drop Coco Robotics, which is a delivery robot company running 1,000 sidewalk bots across Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, New Jersey, and whatever else that last thing is, right? But essentially, I already told you guys this, what they was using the Pokemon Go data for was to essentially get spatial computing. This is a big industry, this is a big topic, and that's why I was bullish on Auki at the time, because they was looking to do the same but the centralized version. Now, Nexus Hunter here puts out a nice tweet on the upgrades that Auki has. When it comes to retail automation, Auki is setting the gold standard. Using their spatial AI platform, robots operate seamlessly in stores, human staff productivity rises, the demand is clear. Paid pilots span across 6,500 plus stores, right? So they're being used right now, right? But they're still improving how retail gets mapped for these hybrid workforces. So one, you should know how big spatial computing is right now, because Niantic basically stole out they kind of stole our data, right? Like they had us do their work for them, pretty much just going into different places and scanning those areas so they robots know how to operate in those areas, right? So that's what they was doing. So now you know how big spatial computing is, right? And now you know how much stores Auki is actually being used in, which is 6,500 stores. So when you look at things like Auki as of right now in terms of their price, you can see the risk to reward ratio is very good. They have ongoing investing as of right now, and not too many people are really talking about Auki, right? It's at a $32 million market cap, FDV of $82 million. Let's see what Asai has to say. So Auki sits at the intersection of AI, D-pin, and robotics, three narratives with serious long-term tailwinds. The tech is legit. They're building spatial mapping infrastructure for machines that is used within 6,500 stores. Paid pilot isn't vaporware, right? We just told you that. But here's the problem: they're bleeding daily. About 65K in token emissions hitting the market every single day till 2027. That's not a token. That's a printing press working against the holders. Very true there. So I'm glad it brought up the the FDV, not the FDV, the tokenomics here. But I do believe that as we get closer and closer to the bull market again, we will be closer to the end of the emissions, right? So let's scroll down again a little bit more here. It does bring up the red flag of the FDV to market cap gap. Basically, that's a red flag. 82 million theoretical value against 32 million actual float means massive dilution ahead, right? But this is the time where all of this needs to be coming out. It's in the bear market, right? So it's the top 10 DPIN performer within the last year, right? Plus 92, plus 93, right? Second US retail pilot store launched in 2025, joined the Peaq network, right? US national robotics strategy possibly coming via executive order in 2026. Well, accumulation flagged, 1.5 millions moved to a cold storage wallet. So that's pretty good right there, right? So the bearish, you guys already know, we talked about the bearish daily emissions of 6 million Auki here, and then you also got the trading volume, which is thin here. 30% of the circulating supply is unlocked, but only 39 of max supply is in circulation. So right now smart money isn't accumulating this, but I do believe that they will soon be accumulating, right? The robotics thesis is real. Chain of thought called robotics the highest upside leg of AI trade. I love that, honestly. And Auki is building the spatial infrastructure that lets robots actually navigate the world. That's not meme territory, that's legitimate DPIN. But the tokenomics is brutal. So short term is bearish, midterm is neutral, and long terms depend entirely on whether the robotics narrative catches fire, which I believe the robotics narrative will. Next, we got another play here that we haven't talked about. I made one video on it, but haven't really talked about since, which is Robo Open Fabric Foundation. I believe this is going to be a nice little robotics play. When people ask me about how I feel about Robo, I'm like, I'm very bullish on Robo. It's a very new altcoin, all right? So we're going to have some tokenomics we're going to have to deal with. There's a lot of different things when that happens, right? And then there's also some other robotics plays that's going to be coming out, like BitRobot, Prism, and a few others, right? So Fabric and Virtuals have united to advance the machine economy. Fabric offers infrastructure for robots to function as independent economic entities, while Virtual Protocols, ACP, introduces tangible agents into the real world. So they're working with virtuals essentially to give the virtual agents, right, and their protocol with ACP a body, which is something they call embodied AI, right? So that's where AI agents host a body essentially. So this is where things is getting interested. I do believe this is a pretty big part. Together, our collaboration will bring a future where AI agents seamlessly delegate tasks to physical robots, oversee their completion, and execute on-chain transactions, right? So this is something I'm very bullish on when it comes down to AI agents, robotics, embodied AI, all of that. Now, as I said, this is fairly new. So you will see the FDV to market cap to FDV. That's going to probably be a red flag that SI is going to point out there, right? But the daily volume is much better than Auki's that we're seeing, right? And you guys can see it has come out, and it just, it's a bear market. We can't really expect too much from this as of right now until the market shakes up. But I really wanted the market to, I really wanted this to come out earlier so we could get more of the vesting out in the market. It'll just be easier that way. So essentially, let's see what SI has to think. Fabric Protocol is building the agent native infrastructure for robotics, essentially a public ledger where robots coordinate data, computation, and regulation. The project sits at an intersection of three narratives I love: AI, DPIN, and robotics. The tech is ambitious right now, but here's the problem: the numbers are ugly right now. So as of right now, the numbers you're looking at, the price, the market cap, and the FDV. I knew it was going to bring up the gap between the FDV and market cap, right, which is a 4.5x, right? So almost 80% of the tokens aren't in circulation yet, right? That's future supply waiting to hit the market. Right, so the 7 days is looking at the 7 days. The bull case, March 27th, partnership revealed is 3 days away. So they have a big partnership that's going to come up, right? That's a catalyst giving Binance Alpha spotlight status. This could be something meaningful. The community is buzzing, and Robo ranking in Lunar Crush Galaxy score is top 10. Shows algorithmic signals are flagging it, right? But again, it does know that it's a new project, and the FDV to, you know, market cap is definitely a big gap. So it's not as bullish on it long term as I am. You know, you can see it 60% here pretty much, but I'm pretty bullish on it. And the red flags is the FDV, the liquidity in terms of, you know, the 602k pool for a $51 million market cap. I think that's just because it's on Ethereum and Base. Yeah, it's on Ethereum, Base, and BNB, so that liquidity is spread through those chains. So I definitely would like to wait to see what the partnership will be for Robo about March 27th. Now, mind you, I don't own any Robo right now. I'm just very bullish on it, right? Because I'm bullish on the whole thesis of robotics. Now let's get into what I'm the most bullish on, which is Peaq. I hope you guys didn't think I was going to forget about Peaq. All right, the risk to reward ratio as of right now for Peaq is so good. As of right now, you guys can see it was about $23 million market cap. Now that was a steal at that point, honestly. Now it's starting to bounce a little bit more, especially now with a lot of the machine economy talks. People are probably going to really start to look into Peaq for what they have been building. Now Peaq also dropped their new updated purple paper, they call it, which gave us an update to their tokenomics and some other things that they're going to be building. So this is a post right now from the machine economist here, right? You guys can see what Peaq's purple paper means for the machine economists, right? Peaq is opening its stack to become the coordination layer for machines across every chain, not just its own. The infrastructure already powers 3.3 million machines, and 200 million transactions is no longer walled garden. It is now a universal entry point, right? So what this means is you got the trust layer, you got the Peaq OS, and you got the service layer. I will talk about all of this when I do make a updated Peaq video by itself, just because I didn't want to make this video a little bit too long here. But you could see what they talk about here from other projects in this whole ecosystem. Now, like I said, they also, with this purple paper drop, they have mentioned, they have talked about the new tokenomic. Now talk Peaq here. Now I should follow him. I should follow him, right? He gave us an update on the Peaq tokenomics discussion, right? So the MICA white paper confirms a total cap supply at $5.67 billion. Not billion dollars, sorry, tokens, right? Now CoinMarketCap has updated the max supply to that as of right now, while the other platforms are actually catching up. Let me go check it on CoinGecko. So as you can see, CoinGecko has not actually updated that, which is not good, because when you look at it here, it's much better on CoinMarketCap here. Total supply, you can see exactly where we're at, and the max supply now, meaning almost all the vesting is finished. There's not too much inflation that's going to be coming onto the market here. That was one of the biggest killers for Peaq, was the huge inflation. Now there's barely any inflation left to come. So I want to know if Asai has seen that and can point it out for us. So Peaq is building the economic layer for robots and machines, right? This is where things get very interesting. It's neutral omni-chain coordination layer, giving machines everything they need to become autonomous economic actors. That's verifiable identity, portable reputation, and tokenization across chain settlement, right? Cross chain settlement. The tech is real, the partnership is real. It's sitting at a $35 million market cap after dropping 97% from its all-time high. That's not a red flag, that's a thesis waiting to activate. Ooh, I love that, right? So Peaq just had a structural upgrade that changes the token economics fundamentally. They capped the total supply at 5.67 billion Peaq. That's it. No more inflation, no more inflationary dilution, more machines, more deep in projects, more transactions, all accruing to a fixed supply now. DeFi Buddha flagged this as a major catalyst, and he's right? Token economics shift from infinite dilution risk to scarce infrastructure token. Oh man, I hope you guys are reading this and getting pretty bullish on it, because I am too, right? The Korea partnership is another piece. They partnered with Korea top research group to push machine economy infrastructure into the Korean market. That's real enterprise adoption. You got Silencio mentioned here. The one concern, block production stalled yesterday due to upstream dependency issue. They actually talked about this, which, as you can see, they mentioned this just yesterday. It has been restored, so Asai caught that. Now, if you're looking at some of the numbers here, Asai hasn't been too bullish on too many of the altcoins that we had in this video here, but when it comes down to Peaq, it does give it a 78% out of 100. So long term, it is actually a little bit more bullish on Peaq than the other altcoins we had on this list. So you guys can take that for what you believe, right? Because it's just like he says, just like Asai says, not a trade. This is position for believers in robotics, deepen convergence thesis. Right? So me personally, I believe that Peaq is probably, this is one of the times that you want to start to look at Peaq. The tokenomics got changed, where now there's not a infinite supply, it's actually capped, right? And it's very close to the end of its max supply, of its total supply as of right now, right? And robots is now starting to become a huge topic. You guys want to front run this narrative, because right now robotics is not being talked about. A lot of eyes is more on AI agents, which they should be, because that's a very big thing happening right now, right? But if you guys want to catch another leg within the whole entire AI narrative, robotics seem to be an undervalued spot where not too many people are actually talking about this narrative here. And when you even go on to the narrative itself, you can look at the overall market cap for this as of right now, where it's at a $723 million market cap. That is very cheap, guys. That is very cheap as an entire whole. What's leading the way here is virtual. So if virtuals was not even in here, you take away about 400 million there, you're left with 300 million market cap for entire robotics narrative. There's a lot of room to grow within this narrative, especially when you're starting to see plays at $38 million market cap, $40 million market cap, $23 million market cap. This is your opportunity, if you're betting on a narrative, to take a position. Take a position. Not financial advice, of course, but you guys do what you guys want. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and if you guys haven't subscribed already yet, please do so. We on that road to 30K subscribers. If you guys want to help out with that, hit that red subscribe button. I'll check you guys later. Peace, YouTube.